You said yes. Again. Someone asked you for a favor. You didn't want to do it. Your whole body was telling you no. But somehow the word that came out of your mouth was, sure, no problem. I want to tell you something today that nobody around you is brave enough to say. Being nice is making you weak. And 500 years ago, a man named Machiavelli figured out exactly why and what to do about it. By the end of this video, you will never see your kindness the same way again. Let's start at the beginning, because you weren't born like this. Nobody comes into the world afraid to say no. Watch a 2-year-old. They say no with zero guilt, zero hesitation. They don't apologize for having needs. So what happened to you? Somewhere between childhood and now, you learned a dangerous equation. You learned that when you pleased people, you got love, you got approval, you got safety. And when you didn't, when you pushed back, when you said what you really thought, you got rejection, silence, punishment. So your brain did what it always does. It built a strategy. If I stay agreeable, if I stay small, if I make people comfortable, I will be okay. Psychologists call this high agreeableness. And here's the brutal truth about it. In small doses, it's a strength. In large doses, it becomes the mechanism through which other people run your entire life without you even noticing. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Machiavelli wasn't talking about being cruel. He was talking about being taken seriously. Because here's what he understood that most people refuse to accept. When you make yourself too easy, too available, too endlessly accommodating, you don't earn love. You earn contempt. Now let's get specific. Because this isn't abstract. This is happening to you right now in your daily life. And I want you to see the exact mechanism. Robert Cialdini, one of the greatest psychologists who ever studied human influence, identified something called the reciprocity trap. Here's how it works. When you constantly give your time, your energy, your help, your yes, you create an expectation, not gratitude. An expectation. People stop seeing your generosity as a gift. They start seeing it as a given. And the moment you stop giving, you become the problem. You become the selfish one. You become the difficult one. You built the cage, and now you're living in it. Think about the people in your life right now. Is there someone who calls you only when they need something? Someone whose problems are always bigger than yours? Someone who has learned, because you taught them, that your time has no value because you give it away for free. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And Machiavelli saw this pattern in kings, in courts, in entire governments. He wrote that a ruler who tries to be universally liked will eventually be universally disrespected, because people don't respect what costs them nothing to have. Everyone sees what you appear to be. No spine, no price. That is exactly how you will be treated. Not because people are evil, because people are human. And humans, all of us, respond to what we perceive. Now I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough, because we've talked about what agreeableness does to your relationships. But what does it do to you? Every time you say yes when you mean no, there's a cost. It's invisible, but it's real. Psychologists call it emotional labor, the constant work of managing your authentic feelings to maintain a version of yourself that other people find acceptable. You smile when you're exhausted. You laugh when you're hurt. You say it's fine when it absolutely is not fine. And every single time you do this, every single time you betray your own inner signal to keep the peace, because the people pleasers, the endlessly agreeable ones, often end up the most resentful. Because you gave and gave and gave, and nobody gave back the way you needed them to. And you can't even be angry about it openly, because your whole identity is built around being the good one, the calm one, the one who doesn't make waves. And this is where most people get Machiavelli completely wrong. They hear, be feared, not loved, and they think it means become cold, become cruel, become someone who uses people. That is not what he was saying. And if that's your takeaway, you've missed the entire point. What Machiavelli was saying, what he spent his entire life observing in some of the most powerful and powerless people in human history, is this: strategic self-respect is the only thing that earns genuine respect from others. It means knowing your value and refusing to discount it. It means being willing to disappoint someone in the short term to protect yourself in the long term. It means understanding that every time you set a boundary, every time you say, no, that doesn't work for me, you are not being difficult. You are teaching people how to treat you. Here's the 3 shifts that change everything. 1. Stop explaining your no. A no is a complete sentence. The moment you over-explain, you invite negotiation. 2. Let people sit with discomfort. When you say no and someone is upset, resist the urge to fix their feelings. Their reaction is not your emergency. None of this is about becoming selfish. It's about becoming real. Because here's the paradox. The people who are truly loved, truly respected, truly valued, they are not the ones who gave the most. They are the ones who gave intentionally. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Machiavelli, The Prince, 1513. Who do you have around you right now? People who reciprocate or people who consume? Because Machiavelli's point cuts both ways. You can also judge your intelligence by who you've allowed into your life. I want to leave you with one final thought, and I want you to sit with this one for a while. The version of you that says yes to everything, that shrinks to fit, that apologizes for existing, that version of you is not kind. It is afraid. And fear dressed up as kindness is still fear. The real you, the version that has opinions, that has limits, that has needs, that version is not difficult. It's human. And the right people in your life, they won't leave when you show them that person. The ones who leave when you set limits were never really there for you. They were there for what you gave them. Machiavelli wrote The Prince 500 years ago in a prison cell, stripped of power, broken by circumstance. And somehow, in that darkness, he saw human nature more clearly than almost anyone before or since. His message was not, be evil. His message was, be awake. Because the world will take from you exactly as much as you allow it to. How much longer are you going to allow it? If this video made something click for you, subscribe. Because this is what we do here at Human Blueprint. We go into the uncomfortable places that most people avoid, and we find the truth that actually changes something. I'll see you in the next one.